Hi and welcome to class today. Today we're going to be doing a foundational Vinyasa flow. If you are new to Vinyasa or maybe you're coming back to it, this is a perfect class for you. You're going to need 2 blocks and I recommend just having them at the front of your mat ready. If you know you don't need blocks, feel free to keep them out. And if you don't have blocks, you can use big books or you could use like Tupperware containers or anything really that you can hold your weight on. Like even if you have like a really good like filled up water bottle, you can normally hold your weight on those. Anyway, we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. So wherever your seated position might be, maybe you have a blanket ready as well. Maybe you're seated onto a blanket, shoulders away from the ears, and we're going to close down the eyes just to find some breaths here, taking a nice long inhale, nice long exhale. Now, if you don't have your Ujjayi breath, I really want you to continue these long breaths in and out. And if you do have your Ujjayi breath, this is the perfect opportunity to just really find it, even if it's not something you can keep throughout the practice. You're just going to find that constriction in the back of the throat, that snoring noise. And I normally find it's easier to breathe it in through the nostrils and exhale, finding it in the exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just following the breath, lengthening it out each breath. Inhale. Exhale. One more. And exhale. Shoulders away from the ears, coming into the room, coming into the body. Slowly open up the eyes. Hands will lift up. Breathe in, pull through the fingers. Exhale. We're going to bring the right hand onto the left wrist. Pull through the left hand and bring yourself over towards the right side. Inhale. And exhale. Maybe look up past the arm. Inhale here. And exhale, slowly lift it back up, switch it over, bring the left hand around the right wrist, breathe in and breathe out. We don't want to turn through the chest, you want to stay nice and open. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale, lift it back up. Hands are going to come forward, interlace the fingers, pull them away, arch through the back, begin to tuck through the chin. Inhale, pull through the fingers, bring them up. Exhale, bring it forward. Inhale. Look up. Exhale, bring it down. Keep the gaze on the fingers. Lift it up one more time. Exhale, slowly bring the hands forward and find some circles through the wrists. One way and the other way. Bring the hands out. We're going to find some really fast motions of flicking the hands. So we'll start slow, we'll build it up. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Begin to flick the hands and then speed it up. Inhale, exhale, feel into the forearms, the wrist. Inhale, exhale, one more. Inhale, exhale, shake it out. So we've got nice warm forearms and wrists. We're going to go into all fours position at the front of our mat. Knees are going to be onto the floor. In your all fours position, hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. Breathe it in, belly towards the belly button, but we're not coming into any cat-cows quite yet. We're just pushing and finding that strong position. We're trying to turn eyes of the elbows towards the front of the mat. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, drop through the belly, lift through the gaze. Exhale, spine towards the sky, tuck through the chin. Inhale. Exhale, send it back. Inhale. Exhale. Feel into the shoulder blades as you push into your cat pose, as you bring yourself chest forward, shoulder blades come together. Just a couple more, bringing it forward, rolling the shoulders forward. Exhale, sending yourself back into your all fours position. Get there in the end. And the neutral spine once again. Just rock the hips out, side to side. You're going to tuck through the toes. You're going to push through the hands, and you're going to lift up, downward facing dog. First downward facing dog, pedal it out. Bring right heel towards the floor, left knee bends. The heel doesn't actually have to make it to the floor, and switch it over. Walk the dog, take it slow. Switch it over. Couple more times, switch it over. Bring the bend into the left leg, straighten out through the right leg. One more time, straighten out through the left leg, bend through the right leg. And then slowly, hips up towards the sky, push back through the hands, open through the chest, engage through the core, nice strong core, gazes towards thighs or navel, and then you're going to walk feet, bending the knees slowly towards the front of the mat. Bend the knees generously, belly to thighs, and hands come to opposite elbows. Rock it side to side in your ragdoll. Forward folding, really nice and gentle here. And then push through the feet, step vertebrae on top of each other. Hands can go heavy on the side of you. Come up to Tadasana. Stay barefoot, then you can really breathe into the feet and notice the feet as much as you can. We want to start in our Tadasana. Maybe the feet are hip distance. So when we bring this right toe in, it should hit the middle of our foot. So my feet are not quite hip distance, like that. So something to also think about is hip distance is fine for the majority of us. Some of us want to get our feet closer. It's something I think we see a lot of in certain classes. So if that is the case, I recommend bringing the toe mounts together and then placing the heel on the floor. The heels do not have to touch if they can't. And then think about really lifting through the legs. Now, if you engage through the legs a little bit more, you might find that that's fine and that's comfortable for you. If that's not comfortable, just bring them like an inch away from each other, because that's going to give you a little bit more space. If that's not enough, always give yourself more space. Make it accessible for you in your practice. Hands will be either side of the shoulders. Shoulders are over the hips. Hips are over the knees. We're going to breathe it in nice and tall through the spine. Make sure the pelvis feels like it's even. The hips are even. You're not bending into one of them. Knees, we want to see if we can get it so we're like a bucket of water. We're not tilting it forward, not tilting it back. We're finding an evenness for our Tadasana. Chin is slightly tucked, and then we're looking in front of us, breathing it in and breathing it out. As we lift the hands, our gaze is going to lift up. Again, this is personal preference. I'm going to say I prefer to have my hands together because it gives me a little bend in my elbow and I'm hypermobile. But if you like having your hands lifted, pulled up towards the sky like you've got an imaginary beach ball above your head, that's totally fine and there's nothing wrong with that. If you do like your hands together, that's absolutely fine as well. As you then fold over, hands can come together, hinge from the hips. Hands can slowly come through the heart space and down towards the floor. Placing the hands onto the legs if you can't quite reach the floor. If you want to bend your knees, you might be able to graze the floor. Think about then lifting through the chest as you push off the calves or the thighs into your halfway lift. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly fold over the legs, plant through the hands. Here is where your blocks may come really in handy as you step it back into your all fours position. Knees can come down and then your hands can slowly come down. You're going to walk your knees a little bit away, and I always find teaching this, people avoid doing it because you are coming into a little bit of a back bend. Now, you don't have to come in deeper back bend as me. I'm exaggerating it so you can really see what I'm doing. I'm not going to bring the hips down. The key is to keep the bum up into the air. So we're really turning through the elbows, eyes of the elbows towards the front of the mat. You're hugging elbows in towards the ribs as you slowly bring chest, chin down. So it's really quite strong. And then you can wiggle the hips all the way down softly with control. Slow you go, the stronger you go. So that might not be as slow at the beginning, but then you can slowly build a bit more strength as you go. Inhale, push up, baby cobra, ribs stay on the floor, inhale. And then exhale, you slowly bring the chest down and maybe the forehead comes down. You push through the hands and you lift up through the knees, tuck through the toes, come back into your downward facing dog. Now you can stay here as long as you like, and I recommend finding a bit more stillness this time. So maybe your hips are slowly weighing down to the floor. Maybe you're lifting through the hips, pushing back through the armpit space, strong through the core. We don't want to be back bending into it. We want to think about squeezing the core in towards the belly button. Inhale here. Exhale, stay where you are, one more breath. Inhale, exhale, always the option to come into child's pose, remember as well. Walk feet towards the hands, bend through the knees generously as you go. Stepping one, then the other, and then the hands, your feet are going to make it towards the backs of the hands. Now also you have this wonderful option of the blocks there too. So let me just show you. Coming from downward facing dog, hands go onto the blocks, you push them in, and then you've got a little bit more room to make some bigger steps into your fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift again, push through the shins, thighs, find that tabletop position, backs flat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up through the fingertips, lift it all the way up. Tall mountain, look towards your thumbs. Exhale, hands can come down, Tadasana. Inhale and exhale, shoulders away from the ears. So from here, we're going to find our sun salutation again, and I'm just going to add some harder elements to it. So if you're used to your sun salutation, used to your vinyasa being a little bit harder, then maybe this is going to boost that a little bit more. And again, you can always modify, always come back to the other one we just did. And you can always rewind and do that 3 times instead. Lift through the fingers. Again, your feet can be wherever they need to be. Look up towards the thumbs and exhale, fold. Bend through the knees if you need to. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Remember, you have these blocks. Now, I want you to bring them in. If you know stepping through is a little bit hard for you, push through the blocks or push through the mat and step left foot back behind you. So you're coming into a runner's lunge. Lower left leg and then place the right leg behind you. You can move the blocks out of the way if you need to. Hands can come forward and lower. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale. We're going to halfway lift. Exhale. Inhale. We're going to cobra. So elbows are facing towards the back of the mat. Keep the lower ribs on the floor. Hips are connected to the floor. Engage through the glutes and exhale. Come down. Tuck through the toes and send it back. Downward facing dog. Stay here for 3 breaths. Inhale. If you need time off the wrists, come to your child's pose. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Again, bring the blocks in. Step the right leg forward. Runner's lunge. And step the left leg forward. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up through fingers. Look towards the thumbs and exhale, hands are going to come down. Last sun salutation. If you know you can come into a slightly, so again, if you want to modify, do that version, do the version before, feel free to. We're gonna make it a little bit more intense. Lift through fingers, look towards thumbs, inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, push through shins, push through thighs. Exhale, fold, step back, plank. Again, use your blocks if you need them. Inhale, knees, chest, chin, hips come down, push through the hands, elbows towards the back of the mat, cobra, the ribs might come off. Exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose, remember. Inhale here, And exhale, send the armpits towards the floor. Push through the hands, push through the fingers. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Look towards thighs, navel, inhale. And exhale. Now we're going to step the right foot forward and the left foot forward with your blocks maybe under your hands, or push into the hands and blocks again, really useful. And see if you can just hop the feet towards the front of the mat. Look up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Push through hands, lift through fingers all the way up. Look towards the thumbs. And slowly bring it down, Tadasana. Lift through the left leg. Inhale. Flex through the foot, stalk. Knee parallel with the hip or a little bit lower maybe. And then pendulum it back and set it back behind you. Turn through the foot, edge of the foot onto the floor, and then turn hips towards the front of the mat. Bend into that front knee. Knee should be over ankle. Lift through the fingers. Inhale, look towards the thumbs. Exhale, bend into that front foot, front knee. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Using that Ujjayi breath if you have it. Inhale. Exhale. One more. And exhale. Right hand comes forward, left hand comes back, and that back foot's going to turn so the hips are facing the long edge of the mat. Bend into the front knee. Warrior two. Look towards the front middle finger. Pull through the fingers. Shoulders should be even. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale, back hand to back thigh, and the front hand's going to turn over. Pull through the fingers as it lifts up into your reverse warrior. Beautiful. Inhale. And exhale, I'm going to bring that forearm right down onto the thigh now, and that top hand can go to waist or stack shoulders on top of each other into your side angle. Breathe it in, look towards the top thumb. Exhale, feel into the back edge of the back foot, bend through that front knee still. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, maybe the hand begins to spiral overhead, so you can feel from the middle finger of that left hand all the way down the left leg. Inhale here, and then exhale slowly. We're going to bring this top hand down towards the floor, and we're going to find that runner's lunge. Remember, you have these blocks here, so you can put some blocks under the hands or come onto the fingertips. We're going to step front foot back, plank, knees, chest, chin. This is your Vinyasa flow. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. Walk feet towards the front of the mat and fold over. Inhale, push through feet, lift it all the way back up. Fingers lift up. And exhale, hands by the side. Weight shifts into the left foot this time. Right knee lifts up. Inhale. Knees lifting up, and then you're going to bring it so the torso comes forward a little bit as the right leg comes back, and step it back. Turn through the foot a little bit, bend through the front knee. Now, to warrior one, sometimes it just means our hip's going to turn out a little bit. I really don't mind if your hips turns out. We want them to face towards the front of the mat, but sometimes that puts our knee in a vulnerable position. And sometimes we want to step the back foot out a little bit more so we have a wider stance so the hips have a little bit more room. Lift through the fingertips, warrior one. Look towards the thumbs. Inhale. Exhale. Shoulders away from the ears. Open through the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Like you have a big ball of energy above your head. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, left hand comes forward, right hand comes back. Turn through the back foot, warrior two, open through the hips. Hips now facing towards the side of the mat. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale, back hand to back thigh, front hand turns over and pulls up, side body stretch. Breathe it in, breathe it out. And then slowly forearm to the front thigh, top hand comes up and overhead, hug bicep into the ear, look towards the front middle finger. Inhale, spiral the chest open. Inhale, exhale, you've got it. Inhale and exhale. Couple more breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and then exhale. Hand comes down by the side of the left foot and turn onto the back toes, hand onto the other side of the left foot, and so you have yourself in a runner's lunge. Again, blocks are great here, so you can push through the shoulders and that knee can step it back a little bit further. So if you've not got blocks, you can still find that push, shoulder blades come away from each other or fingertips, and then plant through the hands. Plank, knees, chest, chin, inhale and exhale. Bring it back. Child's pose now. Weight forehead to the mat. Become heavy through the shoulders, knees, bum. We're gonna strengthen through the cobra a little bit more. So we're gonna shift the weight forward, plant hips down, belly down, and we should have our hands come forward and forehead to the hands, relax through the shoulders. Hands will come underneath the shoulders. And we're going to push through the hands, lifting only the upper ribs off the floor. And we're going to squeeze through the glutes, feel the thighs roll in as we lift up. Feet are about hip distance. Inhale, exhale. You're strong through the core. You're so strong through the back even. Your hands lift up. Inhale. Exhale, slowly forehead to the mat. One more round, pushing through the ribs, through the hips, squeeze through the glutes, hands lift up. Inhale, exhale, one more. Inhale, exhale, slowly bring it down. Right arm goes out long and turn through the right armpit onto your back. From here, the knees come to the chest and you hug it in. Arms go out wide and you find yourself in this weird position with your knees hugged in, legs out wide, and you can bring knees then over towards the right side. The left shoulder is going to try and stay onto the floor as the knees come over. If they hover, blocks, blanket, cushion, or maybe they slowly make their way all the way down. I don't mind if they're staggered. Some people find they need to stagger their legs, but they can also be together, and the legs can start to go out as well. Breathe it in. Exhale, let it go. Look over towards the left hand. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, one more. And exhale, knees come up, rock through the hips and go over to the left side, look towards the right hand. Knees come up and the feet get heavy. Corners of the mat. You let go, hands can just go by the hips. Shavasana. You worked hard in your Vinyasa, and now your reward is peace. Breathing it in. Let it go heavy. And then when you're ready, knees come to the chest, rock, knee them over towards the right side and slowly pillar up off of the floor. From here, you're going to bring your hands to your heart center. Thank you for letting me guide your practice this morning, afternoon, or evening, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. The light in me sees the light in you.